can you talk a little bit about Visual Studio Extensibility? Because that's the stand where we're at.
Well, I sure can. So Visual Studio is extensible in many ways. For example, mainly you can break it into a couple of different areas. There's the IDE itself, which is extensible. And then if you look at the various components of Visual Studio Team system, for example, the architecture edition, the future version of that will be very extensible in terms of being able to reverse engineer projects into class diagrams and things of that nature. The developer edition is extensible, the data edition is extensible, because with Visual Studio 2010 you'll be able to write adapters for different back-end databases such as Oracle or IBM DB2, for example. The test edition is extensible to be able to support different unit test types and create all different sorts of tests and extend the test infrastructure in many ways. And then of course Team Foundation Server is extensible. It exposes a whole range of web services, create new reports. You can adapt different sorts of project templates for different methodologies, for example Scrum and different agile methodologies, through to the different waterfall methodologies such as CMMI or the essential RUP process and things of that nature. But if we go back to the IDE extensibility, there are various approaches to that. For example, in the most simple way, any user can record macros and automate parts of their development process that way. If we step up a little bit in terms of complexity, you can write add-ins, and you can do that in your language of choice, and that allows you to create tool windows and do a lot more than what you can do with just a macro.
Sure.
And both of those things you can do just with Visual Studio out of the box. If we go to the next level of complexity, you can download the SDK and write what we call packages. And a package gives you virtually ultimate control. For example, if you look at the way the C# team writes C# and integrate it into Visual Studio, they use nothing more than the same SDK interfaces that we provide to the community to integrate.
That's really interesting. So
that's
basically
right.
I can write my own C# then.
You've basically got all the same extensibility points that the different language groups in Microsoft have in order to write extensibility and projects. That's right.
Great.
So that you can write your own support for C# in VS. I mean, C# itself is
that's true.
It's more the support for C# in the IDE.
Sure. Yeah. So there are a couple of SKUs of Visual Studio, from Express to Pro to Team System and Team Suite.
Yep.
Is this supported by all of them, also by the Express version?
Not the Express versions. You can't. The packages that you can develop for Visual Studio can apply to all versions of Visual Studio except the Express ones.
Okay,
that's right.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Is there a reason, or maybe a possibility in the future that they will extend it to Express?
You know what? I'm not sure. But I guess there's always something that's not going to turn up in the free product, right?
Right, sure.
We do have 800 developers to pay after all.
Yeah, that's true. So.
The question is asked internally.
Yeah.
Who?
I can tell you the question is being asked internally.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. You're not the first one to ask that question.
Okay. So.
And just one final thing that a lot of developers do in terms of extensibility, and that is create project templates.
Right.
So when you go like File, New, Project, and you pick a C# project, for example, you can have a File, New Project, and then My Company project types, and open one, and it can open up with all your company's artifacts in place, like logos, button shapes, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So you can really enforce a lot of standardization within your company by creating a range of standardized company project templates that really give developers in your corporation a head start on any project and ensure more conformity.
Sure, and that's done with the add-in or with the SDK?
You don't. It's
the project add-in.
You basically edit a template file.
Oh, okay.
It's yet another approach to extensibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. Well, thanks.
Hey, it's no